Hello, this is Paul.
This is Laura.
And I'm Alton.
We are Team Derringer.
You are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
With listeners in more than 30 countries.
Listeners, co-host Laura Derringer has been called away today. She will be back for our mid-monthly interview. We will be interviewing Julian Taylor, award-winning troubadour from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And that will be Derringer Discovery Interview episode 52.
You knew that I was lonely.
Today, Alton and I will take you through the top 25 for the month of November 2023.
The polls for voting open on the 15th of every month and close on the 25th. So thank you to all of our listeners that voted this past month and all the prior months as well. Before we start our countdown, we will recap the number one song from October 2023.
Hit number 1.
Paul, that number one song is by a band called Paper Kites out of Australia. It's their song, June's Stolen Car.
So she stole that old Mustang, took around to her boyfriend's house and said, I know a place we can go.
June's Stolen Car now permanently resides on the Turnip Music Radio Best of 2023 Spotify playlist.
It's a long, long ride to the next town, boy, if you want to start something new.
December, June's Stolen Car will be submitted to you, our listeners, along with the other 11 number one songs from 2023, so you can vote and decide what song will be declared the Turnip Music Radio Song of the Year.
Turnip Music Radio, TMR Top 25.
25 to 19 on the chart and Spotify playlist are highlighted holdovers from October. 18, 17, and 16 are Team Derringer picks. Alton, that takes us to number 15. Who is at number 15?
Tina Boonstra, recording and touring artist from the United Kingdom, listens to Derringer Discoveries.
Ahojte poslucháči, tu je Anthony z Prahy, České republiky.
TMR hit number 15.
Another from the conveyor belt to come and get me.
Coming in at number 15 is the song Kind Twist of Fate by Brian Cooper.
Deja vu is kicking in like a flash.
Brian is a singer-songwriter, performing and recording artist from Japan by way of Yorkshire. Paul, what was the name of that city he's from?
Oh, you know me. I have a hard time saying it, but I'm going to say Fukuoka?
Fukuoka City, Japan.
Fukuoka, okay.
Brian recently joined us as a guest host for episode 50, where we explored the birth of college rock and one of the most important bands of the genre, REM.
REM, in a way, is back on the chart this month. Keep listening. REM, or at least a song by REM, is back.
I won't try to cover up my tracks sometimes. The gravest mistakes, a kind twist of fate in disguise.
That was a snippet of Kind Twist of Fate by artist Brian Cooper. Paul, who's at number 14?
Ви слухаєте Derringer Discoveries, подкаст музичних пригод.
This is the Gaze, checking in from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go Blue, and I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
TMR hit number 14.
Watermarks on your cheeks.
Number 14, as voted onto the chart by our listeners. Thank you, listeners, for voting.
You can still see the scene so clearly.
This song comes to us from Los Angeles, California, here in the U.S. It's by a duo.
He was just 17.
Part of the duo, she's been on our charts a number of times before, but the other half, this is his first time.
History is stuck on repeat.
So I'll tell you his name first. His name is XNK. Alton, do I need to spell that out?
Sure, go for it.
Okay, that would be the letter X, followed by the letter N, followed by the letter K. I hope that's good.
Well done, Paul.
And XNK has teamed up with Lena Cooper. Now, that's a name you've heard before. They're both from Los Angeles. The song is about gun violence in schools, and the song is called Time's Up.
Time's up, stand up to violence.
That's Time's Up by Lena Cooper and XNK. They wrote it together, and I'd like to play the end where they have a little commentary. Helps to seal what this song is about.
We can change the world, one life at a time.
We are here for the kids.
At number 14, for the month of November, that's Lena Cooper with X and K, and the song is Time's Up. Alton, take us to number 13, lucky number 13.
Hi listeners, this is Lena Cooper from Los Angeles, California. I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
Bonjour les auditeurs, ici Electro One de Paris, en France. J'écoute Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
TMR hit number 13.
Backseat of a hybrid, trying to get some extra mileage. There's a podcast on the radio.
At number 13 is an artist who has over 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Sucking on a thumb drive so I don't get too excited.
The song is titled The Answer Is Always Yes by Alex Leahy.
The answer's always yes.
She's an alt-rock singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist from Melbourne, Australia. Alex has been nominated multiple times for an AIR Award. And Paul, that would be the what?
Well, I believe that stands for Australian Independent Record Awards. Am I close?
I think you're right on it.
Going back to Mom's place for an unscripted vacation.
The Answer Is Always Yes, the title track from her latest album by the same name.
Alton, if we were to ask her for an interview, what do you think her answer would be?
The answer's always yes.
And that was The Answer Is Always Yes by Australian artist Alex Leahy. Back to you, Paul, for number 12.
皆さん、音楽冒険ポッドキャストの Derringer Discoveries を聞いてくれてありがとうございます。
Hello, listeners. This is Tilly from Prague, Czechia. I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
TMR hit number 12.
As sincere as ridiculous, a requiem in Comic Sans.
Number 12 is another duet.
Love don't fall apart.
One half of the duet has been on our chart several times before. The other, it's her first time. So let's start with her. Her name is Vienna Ting.
This time around it's more than personal.
Vienna Ting is a native of Saratoga, California. She now calls Washington, D.C. She calls that home.
And I will get what I deserve.
She partnered up with a person named Ben Arthur. That's a name you've heard before, and that's because Ben Arthur has been featured on a Derringer Discoveries episode 43. He's also the host of a popular podcast called Songwriter. That's one word, Songwriter. Here they are, Ben Arthur with Vienna Ting, and the song is Love Don't Fall Apart.
Don't fall apart. Make some money.
That's Love Don't Fall Apart by Ben Arthur from New York City, I might add, and Vienna Ting from Washington, D.C. Alton, take us to number 11.
Hey, this is Ben Arthur from Songwriter, the podcast that turns stories into songs. When I'm not working on Songwriter, I love listening to Derringer Discoveries.
Hello, this is Camilla Passani from Rome, Italy. I am a recording artist and I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
TMR hit number 11.
Coming in at number 11 is the song Acid Lemon, sung by the band called Shockout Bandage.
She came to me when morning broke.
Now, this is a brand new band, Paul. They just formed this year in 2023.
I tried so hard to change my life, but I couldn't.
The band is comprised of Alex, who is a multi-instrumentalist and is the primary songwriter, and he's joined by Vladimir on keyboards, who also does the mixing and the mastering, and they have two guest musicians, Alec on drums and Max on guitars.
Where do you go?
And check this out, Paul. I happened to be chatting with Alex, and at the time we were chatting, he was in the Arctic on a business trip.
The Arctic? Will we get some streams from the Arctic, Alton?
That was a snippet of Acid Lemon, sung by the brand new alt-rock band Shockout Bandage.
Should I keep it when in my heart as the last chance?
Paul, who's at number 10?
Alton, at number 10, we have Controversy. Can you say that?
Controversy. How'd I do?
You did great. Here's what's so controversial about the song that's at number 10. As everyone knows, these songs are put on the chart by the listeners of Derringer Discoveries. When the polls open on the 15th to the 25th, listeners vote, and listeners also sometimes give us comments. And some of the listeners complained. In fact, this is a complaint we see quite a bit. Some of the listeners say cover songs should not qualify, and that's the controversy. This song at number 10 is, in fact, a cover song.
Turnip Music Radio, TMR Top 25. This is the Top 15 Countdown. Hit number 10.
Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people holding.
This time around, the person performing it, his name is Mickey Dolenz. Alton, does that mean anything to you?
It does, but look, quit monkeying around with our listeners.
I guess we are kind of monkeying around. Mickey Dolenz is, or was, I guess, a member of the Monkees. That's right, the Monkees.
Hey, we're the Monkees. And people say we monkey around.
He was born and raised and still calls Los Angeles, California home. That makes 2 artists so far. 2 artists on the top 25 from Los Angeles and Alton. I think later on we're going to have a 3rd artist from Los Angeles. Here is the song. I have been monkeying around. I've held back on telling you the song. The song was written by Bill, Michael, Mike, and Peter. You, listeners, will know them as R.E.M. This song hit the top 40 in a dozen plus countries in 1991. Here it is, the remake by Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, Shiny Happy People.
Meet me in the crowd. People.
Some of the voters, as I noted, protest cover songs, and we'd like to hear from you. Let us know. We're still allowing cover songs as long as they're interpretive, and I do think Mickey did a great job interpreting this particular song, and as Alton mentioned at the get-go, with co-host Brian Cooper from Japan, we featured R.E.M. in episode 50. Check it out.
Throw your love around. Love me. Love me.
And that's Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees covering R.E.M.'s Shiny Happy People.
Shiny happy people holding hands. Shiny happy people.
Alton, take us on to number 9.
Number 9. Here we go, Paul.
Jij luistert naar Derringer Discoveries, een muziekavonturenpodcast.
Estella Dawn, recording and touring artist from California, listens to Derringer Discoveries.
TMR hit number 9.
Bluesman, spotlight.
The band is named The Weaklings, and that's spelled Weeklings.
Grab that slide guitar and play it all night.
Members of The Weaklings have played with Styx, Dave Mason, Bon Jovi, and Southside Johnny. How's that for name-dropping, Paul?
Tell me, you got to tell me.
Their song is named after the founding member of the Rolling Stones. Paul, will you tell our listeners who that is?
A lot of people think it's Mick Jagger or Keith Richards, but that is not the case. The founding member is, or should I say was, Brian Jones.
Could be the last time, Brian Jones.
You got it, Paul. That's right, listeners. The song is called Brian Jones and appears at number 9 on the Turnip Music Radio Top 25 for November 2023.
Who'd have thought that rock and roll could be so cruel?
That was Brian Jones by The Weaklings out of Asbury Park, New Jersey, here in the U.S.
Brian Jones.
So, Paul, who's at number 8?
Usted está escuchando Derringer Discoveries, un podcast de aventuras musicales.
I'm Cheryl. I listen to Derringer Discoveries for all the snippets.
TMR hit number 8.
Looking at another sleepless night.
Number 8 is another first-timer. His name is Kurt Baker, and that's spelled with a K. Kurt Baker. He's originally from Portland, Maine, here in the U.S., but since 2014, and Kurt, write us if I'm wrong about this, since 2014, Kurt has been living and performing in Spain.
Everyone she knows says that she should just get up and go.
Here he is with his first entry on the Turnip Music Radio Top 25 chart. The song is called She Don't Wanna Be Alone. She Don't Wanna Be Alone was written by Kurt along with a colleague who has played with him in a band or several bands. His name is Wyatt Thunderburk. Kurt Baker with She Don't Wanna Be Alone. Alton, take us to number 7.
Tuttlingen, Deutschland. Hört Derringer Discoveries.
I'm Rob from Vienna, Virginia in the U.S., and I listen to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
TMR hit number 7.
Instead of always searching for disaster.
All this next one's for Laura. She's a super fan of this band.
Feel like I can be steady energy.
At number 7 is the song At Ease by the band Livingmore. Livingmore is comprised of Alex Moore and Spencer Livingston, and they are headquartered out of Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
There you go, another band from L.A.
That's a third band this month from L.A.
At ease, I'm not going to deny it.
Listeners, you can check out our interview with Alex Moore in Derringer Discoveries episode 35 entitled L.A. Women. Listeners, that was a snippet of At Ease by one of Laura's favorite bands, the Los Angeles-based Livingmore. Paul, who do we have at number 6?
Yay, luister na, Derringer Discoveries.
I'm Donna from Waynesboro, Virginia in the USA, and I love listening to Derringer Discoveries.
1 minute we're here, the next one we're not.
TMR hit number 6.
The clock is ticking, better use what you got.
At number 6, well, Alton, I have to tell you. Remember I told you at number 10 we had a song that created controversy?
Mm-hmm.
At number 6, we have a song that was polarizing.
Polarizing, as in opposite?
Yes. What we have found with our listeners this month is some listeners loved it, other listeners did not love it. So it was polarizing, but it did well enough to get to number 6.
But until then, just keep breathing.
They are out of Toronto, Canada. Formed in 1988. They go by the name of Bare Naked Ladies. But Alton, I don't believe they have any ladies or naked people in the band. Am I right?
We're loving life. We're loving life. We love it so much that we want to live it twice.
Here's their song this month at number 6. The song is Lovin' Life.
We're loving life. We're loving life. It's like a pizza and we want another slice.
And this is Bare Naked Ladies' first time on the Turnip Music Radio TMR Top 25 chart.
We're loving life. We're loving life.
Bare Naked Ladies at number 6 with Lovin' Life.
This is Matt Saxton from East Sussex, UK, and I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
Turnip Music Radio TMR Top 25 hit number 5.
Alton, who do we have at number 5?
Good People by the Canadian supergroup Indian City.
You knew that I was lonely.
Indian City was also joined by somebody that Paul mentioned earlier in this episode, Julian Taylor.
The moment that you told me.
Indian City, they are kind of an indie folk band that has a rotating cast of musicians. They're also joined by Kelly Beidou.
Yeah.
You don't even know me.
Kelly Beidou is a French-speaking R&B, soul, and Afro-pop singer-songwriter from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
You just showed up like you knew exactly what I needed.
Now, listeners, later this month, you'll have a chance to hear the Derringer Discoveries interview with Julian Taylor himself. Let's have a listen to the song Good People by the folk rock band Indian City, featuring Julian Taylor and Kelly Beidou.
I see you. Your halo. Good people make good people.
That was a snippet of Good People by Indian City featuring Julian Taylor and Kelly Beidou. Paul, who came in at number 4 this month?
Hey, how's it going? I'm Julian Taylor from Toronto, Canada, and I have enjoyed listening to Derringer Discovery.
Ви слухаєте Derringer Discoveries, подкаст музичних пригод.
TMR hit number 4.
I could have done more.
Number 4, as voted on to the TMR Top 25 chart by our listeners, is a band out of, well, it's a singer out of Italy. It's not really a band, right? It's just one person. But this one person goes by the name of An Early Bird.
You could have talked more.
That's right, you heard that. An Early Bird has been on the Top 25 before. This time around, he has returned. His real name is Stefano De Stefano. The song is To Grow Love.
The secrets that you had are still yours.
An Early Bird out of Italy.
Maybe we just need some time to grow love. To grow love.
That is An Early Bird at number 4 with the song To Grow Love. Alton, we're in the final 3. Who is at number 3?
Hello there everyone, it's An Early Bird here from Italy.
Ciao, sono Camilla Passani, sono una cantautrice italiana di Roma e ascolto Derringer Discoveries.
TMR hit number 3.
Star maker, give me stars that shine with me and call you all.
Well, Paul, the number 3 song this month is another band from Canada.
3 in a row?
Wait a minute, Stefano was from Italy.
Oh, yes, Stefano messed it up. We had 2, and then De Stefano, and now we have this one. So 3 non-consecutives.
There you go. That band goes by the name of Great Lake Swimmers with their song Peacemaker.
Peacemaker, make peace, and I will be the man you see.
The band is helmed by Tony Decker and has been releasing music for roughly 20 years.
Peacemaker, make me peace, and I will be the man you see.
They hail from Winfleet, Ontario, Canada, and I hope I'm saying that right, and they are currently on tour. They'll be playing right here in Charlottesville, the home of Derringer Discoveries.
You know, and I would say you mean one of the homes, but Laura Derringer's not here to put that caveat in. So I'm just going to say, sure, why not, Alton? It's the home of Derringer Discoveries.
I'll tell Laura you said that.
I'm hoping she'll listen. Do you think she listens when she's not with us?
She might. She might. She probably wants to find out if we're talking about her.
We are talking about her.
Yes, but she'll only know that if she listens.
Yes, and we're hoping, Laura, that you'll write us and tell us how you felt about this episode, and know that we missed you very much, and we look forward to having you back mid-November for the interview with Julian Taylor.
I've been listening to the Great Lake Swimmers for over a dozen years, and I'm glad they're still making music. Let's hear a snippet of Peacemaker. That was a snippet of Peacemaker by the band Great Lake Swimmers. We're going to that show, right?
Yeah, I think Laura's coming with us, all 3 of us.
Oh, fantastic.
Peacemaker, make peace, and I will be the man you see.
Paul, who's at number 2 on the TMR Top 25 chart?
Johan, de la banda ecuatoriana Salvant, escucha a Derringer Discovery.
This is Mick from Brantingham, New York. I love listening to Derringer Discoveries. It's just a blast.
TMR hit number 2.
Always had a feeling.
Number 2 is a first-timer, and I believe Great Lake Swimmers were first-timers too. Number 2, this is her first EP. It was released in September of 2023, so it's a brand new person out of the gates. Never has released, to my knowledge, anything on Spotify before.
I was not like the rest.
Our listeners love it. What else can we say? The listeners voted the song to number 2. The artist, her name is Isla Elise, and that's I-Y-L-A, Isla Elise.
Always looking and searching for something. I guess somewhere along I gave up, resigning myself to the fact.
She is from Virginia here in the U.S., but surprisingly, even though we're from Virginia, we don't really know what part of Virginia she's from. We're not even 100% certain how to say her name. Her song is Outlier.
Now I'm just an outlier, running from the fences that hold me in.
That's Outlier. It's the title track from her EP that was released, her debut EP.
So now I'm just an outlier.
She has has influences, and her influences include Vince Gill. Alton, am I right? Isn't Vince Gill now with the Eagles?
With the Eagles, and still playing solo.
Yeah. And she also has the influence of Stevie Wonder and Billy Joel, among others. Interestingly, Alton, I think she's one of our first artists to identify herself as a country artist.
Loneliness was my enemy.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Her fans turned out in droves to vote for her this month.
They did. They put her at number 2, and that's what it's all about. We're glad for people listening to Derringer Discoveries and voting every month.
Now I'm just an outlier, divided by partitions that make no sense.
That is Isla Elise with her song Outlier at number 2 for the month of November. Alton, give us a drum roll. We're at number 1 now.
There's your drum roll. You got it.
I'm Elizabeth from Charlottesville, Virginia, in the United States. I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
Hey, it's Sammy Volcano coming to you from the beautiful coast of Maine. I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
You moved away.
Turnip Music Radio TMR Top 25 hit number 1.
Then change your hair color.
Listeners, our Turnip Music Radio number 1 song for the month of November 2023 is the breakup song, Claws.
I bought a fish.
It's a duet by New York-based singer-songwriter Neil Carson and Tilly Simon.
I'm ready for the drama.
Tilly is out of Prague, Czechia. And she has been duetting with a lot of people lately, hasn't she, Paul?
She has, and she's been keeping in touch with us, so it's nice that she's very active and engaged with Derringer Discoveries.
The complicated part.
This song universally resonated with all the folks who voted on this month's ballot.
To see its claws in me.
One of our voters, who is also a musician, had this to say about Claws. They said it was a masterpiece in how to write and record and perform an acoustic song.
How many can let them go?
So listeners, here's a snippet of the number 1 song for the Turnip Music Radio chart for November 2023. The song is called Claws.
I'm ready for the drama. The complicated part. To see its claws in me.
That was a snippet of Claws, spelled C-L-A-W-S, by Neil Carlson and Tilly Simon of the band Ann Tilly. All that brings us to the end of November 2023 Turnip Music Radio Countdown.
That's right. We have 11 songs now that have been voted to number 1 so far this year. We just have one more month left, December, and that will be the final of the 12 songs. And then we will send it out to you, the listeners and voters, to decide what will be, from those 12 number 1 songs, what will be Song of the Year.
And listeners, if you would like to have the opportunity to vote for the number 1 song of 2023 and get notification that that ballot is live, be sure that you subscribe to our newsletter on the website. Go to derringerdiscoveries.com/subscribe and you'll be taken right to the form to fill out your name and email address for our newsletter. It's quick, it's painless, it's easy. We hope to hear from you soon.
This is the end of the episode. Laura, we look forward to having you back with us mid-November. Until then, I am Paul Derringer.
I am Alton Derringer.
And you've been listening to Derringer Discoveries Turnip Music Radio Top 25.
I'm ready for the drama. The complicated part. To sing its claws in me. Its claws in me. Sing its claws in me. Its claws in me. Sing its claws in me.
And And that was the snippet of Claus, spelled C-L-W-S.
Do that one more time. You spelled claws wrong.
I was worried I was going to say Santa Claus.
Okay, well, we might just put a snippet in. Nothing says long episode like extra snippets.
That's right. I think you threw a few extra songs on me last month.
That's because you've got all that time in the world with your beloved cat.
All the time in the world. You got it.